Hi, everybody. Good afternoon. We are leading up to Her Story Norway, which is on the 26th of January. Just, less than 2 weeks away. We are also going to have various workshops in addition to our speakers. And as you know, at the Her Story Norway platform, we are featuring many ladies who will be talking about very difficult issues. Maybe not everyone, but a number of us are going to be speaking about vulnerable experiences that we have gone through. And likewise, for Anna Lena Eldøy, is it correct?
Yeah.
Right. Anna Lena Eldøy. So she's going to be talking about the D word, right? I think some of us are used to the word D as in divorce, but there is another mild term that is also becoming a little bit more accepted, and that D word is called decoupling. Yeah, not divorce, but decoupling. So Annalena is gonna be bringing in probably different perspectives, and I have gone through her workshop details, and I know that some of the things that Annalena is going to bring in at the workshop are rather new and very fresh perspectives that I have not even encountered myself. Okay, yeah. So Annalena, why don't you introduce yourself a little bit and maybe also talk about why are you doing this? Why are you speaking up and telling your story? And why are you doing the workshop? Yeah? I leave that to you.
Okay. Yes. So I worked as a couple and family counselor for approximately 20 years. And before that, I also worked in child protection. And I started to work in Australia, and then I worked in a governmental office here in Norway.
Mm-hmm.
And in the end, the last few years, I've been having a private practice, mainly seeing online. And I have myself been through decoupling or a breakup, and then trying to make it as conscious as possible, my breakup.
Conscious? Do you say conscious?
Conscious, yeah, as conscious as possible.
Making the breakup conscious? What do you mean by that?
Yes, so I think most of us we're thinking that when we have to do with breakups, it's it can be really rough, and it has been pretty rough for us. But the knowledge I've gotten lately has made it so much easier for me to think that it is actually possible to do it in a much more graceful and peaceful way than the way I did it. So this is something that I'm really passionate about giving away to others. And also to so it's not just about, making it better for ourselves and our partner, ex-partner, and our children, but it's also something about if we can do that in a conscious, peaceful way, create a better future for our children.
So that's what you mean by conscious.
Yeah. So, yeah.
That you're awake, that you are clear, and that you're not just motivated by emotions, but also guided by probably some your own mental principles, right? And by also, I mean, of course, when most couples are going through this situation, the focus is always on the kids, right? But I see from your outline that you have also put up that the focus should also be on the parents themselves, right? Because most of the time, the parents tend to feel that, oh my God, how are the kids going to do this? You know, there's a lot of them, and then not taking into consideration themselves. And when they don't take into consideration themselves, it affects the kids anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. You had a very interesting quote that you were sharing. Do you want to share with the rest?
Yes. So the quote is by Merit Malloy, and she says that relationship that does not end peacefully doesn't end at all.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, that is very powerful, because some relationships goes from soul mates to soul hates,
Mm.
and it's pretty interesting to see, you know, how it is maybe maybe the most challenging thing to do and traumatic thing we can do in our life, to break up like this.
Mm.
And it's like going from love maybe into a place of we don't know how to be with each other again, and it's really like the hate, the anger, the frustration can come up,
Mm-hmm.
and that is also a way of holding on to the other.
Mm.
So
Yes.
this being conscious about that,
Mm.
um, yeah. So being conscious of that is also a way to hold on to it,
Yeah.
but this time not through love, but through other powerful feelings.
Yes. You said, you mentioned about this from soulmate to soul hate, right? And that was really quite how should I say, very uh, um, it's probably a wake up call to a lot of people. Maybe, you know, am I being from soulmate to soul hate? And the hating part is also, like you said, a form of hanging on to that relationship. You know, even throwing nastiness is the fact that you are not finished with throwing nastiness, so you're hanging on to the relationship. So even though you're not amicable anymore, the nastiness is still holding that relationship. Yeah. So that's, I think, a very fresh perspective, that people are hanging on in a different way, and that you're not ready to let go yet.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
this doesn't make we don't become free with this.
Mm.
So what we want to do is to really take the breakup as an opportunity for us graduating from our own pain from before, maybe from
Mm.
our own toxic patterns, um, and relational patterns that we
Yeah.
have.
Yeah.
So it can be a great opportunity if we take responsibility for ourselves.
Mm.
And many couples that I see, and this is very normal, to blame the other. You know, he did this and this, and she did this and this.
Mm.
And what I say is that, okay, but let's say that he has 95% of their responsibility. You
Mm-hmm.
know, or it's his fault 95%. It's still 5% that is yours. So what can that be? Because when we dive into that, our 5%, because it's easier to digest 5% than 50, what can it be?
Mm.
What can I learn? What are my lessons? What is the gold in this for me?
Mm-hmm.
And we can have so many different patterns. You know, uh, we can be overgivers. We can not give very much because of a deep fear within us to lose, that we're not worthy of love, that we lose this love or whatever. So
Mm. But why do you think that people are not ready, or find it very difficult to start letting go? Because you got to let go for you to, um, like you said, take accountability for oneself, right? So
Hmm.
which one comes first? Do you take accountability first and then you let go? Or you cut off and let go and then take accountability? Um, what do you think? Which one comes first, perhaps?
Oh, I think first of all, we need to look at what is my contribution? What
Mm,
are my core wounds from before that has been playing out in this relationship and is playing out maybe in other of my relationships as well. So taking the responsibility for ourselves um, can really create a new opportunity for us. And we can do that. We don't have to do that together with our ex-partner neither. We can
no.
do it ourselves.
Mm,
It's a self journey in a way to really find out who we are and graduating from this, and not just graduating from our own pain,
mm,
toxic patterns,
mm.
but also finding love in a very different way, our next love. So it's lots of opportunities in this process.
Mm. So that's what you mean by opportunities. It is an opportunity for you to go into a new journey for yourself, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I like the part where you said that, it's also because people tend to think like, oh, okay, so now I don't have someone, so now I need to find someone else very quickly. But I like the part where you said about self-love. That part has to be filled up. That cup has to be filled first, in terms of that self-loving, perhaps, before you can look for someone else. I don't know. What do you think?
yeah. I I think so too. First, we need to know ourselves better so we can find something that is even better for us. So yeah, self-love is a big thing.
Mm,
Um, and forgiving ourselves for what we have done, forgiving our partner, so
yeah.
we can really truly let go and making peace
Mm,
with what has been, and not just making peace, but also to really honor all the things, all the beauty, and also the lessons in
mm,
the relationship we had.
mm.
So, and I think if we're still holding on, with anger and hate and frustration, whatever, it's really difficult to see it from a different perspective. It's really difficult to find peace within
Exactly.
ourselves and with our partner.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it's also about forgiving ourselves, not just, and sometimes you tend to put a lot of blame on ourselves, right? If something doesn't work out. I mean, not just about marriage, but relationships. And I'm not even talking about relationships between boyfriend and girlfriend. It could even be amongst friends,
Yeah.
amongst family members. There is a little bit of guilt, and sometimes you tend to put the blame on ourselves,
Yeah.
and or you tend to put the blame on the other person more than ourselves, and then that's blame, and then there's also the guilt, right? That you feel like, I have done something wrong, I should not have gone into this relationship. But at the same time, it's so important to us to forgive ourselves as well.
Yeah.
And I like this whole thing that you're talking about, because to look at this whole journey as, this is about an opportunity for you to get to know the real you,
Mm.
and create this new path for yourself, starting from forgiving yourself, and then loving yourself first, and then venturing, moving on further.
Mm.
But I want to talk about a little bit about this myth. There are a few myths around
Yes.
divorce. Yeah. you,
Yeah.
you want to talk about that, like,
Yes, we
one
can.
or two myths?
Well, for sure there are many, but one of the myths is that time heals all wounds,
Mm,
and grown up with this, you know, we actually think that is true.
Yeah.
And to a certain point, of course, it is true. Time helps us, but it does not really heal us. We need to do that ourselves. We need to make a clear decision ourselves to heal that.
You have to do the work, right? You have to do the work.
We have to do the work. We can't just live, because we all know people, you know, and they can be in their 80s and they had a breakup 50 years ago and they're still so bitter.
Yeah.
And they're never gonna come over it. There's no peace within them and there's no peace between. So we have to do that work. So that is one of the myths.
Yes.
And this is also about, sorry.
Carry on.
Yeah, so this is also about grieving.
Yeah.
That you have a certain period of time where it's okay to grieve, but then get over it, you know, time heals. But it doesn't really.
No.
We have to take responsibility for this. We have to do it ourselves. That is one of the myths that I see out there. The other one is that relationship, a breakup is damaging for children. And it is not easy for children going through their parents' breakup. It can be an enormous amount of grief. But it's not damaging in itself, the breakup. But what can be damaging and what is truly damaging is the hostility between the parents, all the things that is not said,
or said, or the things
or
that
said or not said, that they can feel. Yeah. So that's why it's so important for us to make this in a conscious way. Yeah. And there's another myth, maybe I could have started with that, but that is about living happily ever after. And I think most of us, we have at least 2 significant relationships, and we've had 1 or 2 breakups, and others have had many more. So this is pretty common, but we still hang on to this myth that is the best way. That is, you know, the people that can do that, stay with someone for the rest of their life. It's really like they won the gold medal in a way. And I want to bring that down a little bit, because what I see is that quite a few people live not in a very healthy relationship, not in a very loving relationship, but they're so afraid of leaving because because of all the shame. We are so full of shame, and I can relate to this with my own breakup. It is so shameful because we still have this, you know, that we fail if we can't be in this relationship until someone dies. We feel like a failure, and I think it's really important to recognize this. And this concept of living together happily ever after with one love was created in 400 years ago, when people lived. Those who lived up, they lived until they were 40 years old. And today, well, it's a very different society, and we'll live until we're nearly 100. And it's something about adjusting to, maybe that is not realistic today, to think, to keep on having these stories as the ideal relationship.
Yeah, and it doesn't help when you have those terms which said, "Oh, she has gone through a failed relationship or a failed marriage." So the
Yeah,
word "fail" is always, connected, related to the word marriage. Is a failed marriage. So marriage, if let's say you don't have it forever, so that means you failed in life, that you did not make it work. So I
yeah.
want to just share very quickly a little bit because my personal story also. Well, as I was telling you that when I got married, my parents went through divorce after I got married. So I think because this is really not nice, but the cat is not happy with me today. I'm sorry. I have to let him out.
Yeah. Hmm.
I'm sorry about that. He's been going around and around me. I'm just ignoring him.
Yeah.
Things happen. Anyway, so as I was saying that, yeah, my parents got divorced after I got married, and I think the older generation, of course, they always had to think that I failed because I failed in life. However, sometimes time can also prove you that if let's say
Mm.
you work on yourself and you're willing to work on things, it might just be even better. So as I was telling you that my parents are not together, but we are always together when it's family gatherings. And I was just sharing with Anna Lena just now that when I
Mm.
come from Norway to Singapore, my brother was there standing up and looking out for me, and there I saw both my parents sitting side by side each other and just chit chatting while
Yeah.
waiting for me to come. So they
Mm.
are both in a very good place. You know,
Yeah, it's
they don't
beautiful.
live together, but I think it has come to a point where there's no need to hold up this. I don't know, is differences anymore. You know, and at the end of the day, they both feel like we want to spend as much time together with the kids and the grandkids.
Yeah.
So I thought well, I've been through the whole journey with my mom, right, from the beginning and until how she is, and it's just so beautiful to see. And I must say I'm so proud of my parents that they
Yeah.
have come to this stage, because
Yeah.
whenever I say, yeah, I'm gonna go meet my parents, and people are like, your parents, like, are they back together? No, they're not. But I'm gonna meet them together. So
Yeah.
it is possible. It but like you said, Annalena, it is not about time. It is about how you make use of the time to work on yourself, and
Exactly.
that will lead to that good
Mm.
image and good, how shall I say, then you can call it probably happily ever after, because they are
Yeah.
still happy, they are still happy, at the end of
Or
the day,
happy even after.
even after.
Even
Yes,
after,
that's
because
it.
that's the new, not
Yes,
happily ever after,
yes,
even after.
even after, yeah, even after they're
Wow.
still happy, I mean, they have their own space, they do what they want, and then they still meet and they still talk, and they still talk about their children. Some things don't change, they will still talk about their children, they will still talk about their grandchildren, and maybe in a sense, maybe just like before, the way I see them, it's like there's no, how shall I say, it's almost like time did pass. Of course time did pass a lot for them, but
Mm.
it's just very beautiful to see, like, just to be able to see that they're not together, but they're sitting beside each other and just chit-chatting, talking about their children, like just like old times.
Yeah.
So it is possible.
Mm.
um do you want to end off with a nugget with for people out there who should come for this workshop?
Yeah, that's a good question. Well, everyone may be in a situation, because the title of the workshop, I'm not sure if you said that.
No, I
Should I
have not.
stay or should no? So the title is "Should I stay or should I go in my couple relationship?" The importance of making a clear decision. So that is the first. First you have to be in a process with, about should I stay or should I go, and this is really important, because if you're in a middle, you don't know, you can't work on making your relationship better, and you
Mm,
can't you're not out, so you can't find something better. So it's really like being in this in-between phase.
Being in
And
limbo, right? You're being in limbo. You're in between.
limbo, and
Yeah.
being in a limbo for a long time is not good at all. We can get depressed, we lose energy, so much sleepless nights, all this fear. And it is important to a certain not to wait too long before we make a decision.
Mm.
So what was I saying? Yeah.
So
So
who should
for
come to
those
this workshop?
in that
Who should come?
situation
Yeah.
that are really, unsure, I think you will get some new perspectives to add to finding out if you're staying or not.
Mm.
And also maybe for them that you have maybe made a decision to leave, to come and to learn more about how to do this in a conscious way, in a good way, in a peaceful way that is good for everyone involved, not just you. And also for those who have broken up, and that can be many years ago, but they still haven't let go. Also very welcome to come.
Yes.
To maybe understand more of the opportunity you have in creating a much better life for yourself, and understanding the process you have been through before. Yeah.
So if you are in limbo and if you're not sure, maybe come down and maybe help explore, what are your options. Or if you have already decided and maybe you're not getting the results that you want, or you need clarity on how to go about doing this in an amicable way, then you should come. And the third group is if you have already gone through the whole process, perhaps of decoupling, and yet you're not getting this how shall I say, satisfaction, or you still do not have clarity, then you can come. So those three groups, one is let's say limbo, and another one if let's say you have decided but you do not know how to make this good. Okay. And the third one is if you've gone through the whole process but you have still not grieved that totally, and you have still not cut off that cord.
Exactly. And still not having found peace within and peace between, then it's also a good opportunity.
Okay, so on that note, thank you so much, Anna Lena. I think it has been very, very useful. I hope people has found this quite eye-opening as well. And if you want to hear more, Anna Lena will be speaking about this on stage, and do come for the workshop. It's 250 krona per person, and we encourage all of you who are sitting on the fence, all those three persons that if you fall into those categories, make that step. Let Anna Lena show you the way based on her experience and what she has learned as well. Okay, thank you so much, people. Thank you, Anna Lena. Take care. See you soon, everybody.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.